appoint forcefully and return the people back to the bosom of their families. And then with the police, they should develop into a police service worthy of a democracy. That one of the things that manifest in a democracy are demonstrations. So right. We have a duty as a police service to bend over backwards to assist people to go on demonstrations.
Right.
That being said, when it is necessary to protect certain state facilities, we also do our job. I think if we strike these balances, we may go forward as a nation.
Right, Eric. Let me come back to you on this. So when you take a look at the explanation that the police is giving for picking up these people, they say the arrest was as a result of the flagrant disregard of the court processes served on the organizers of the Democracy Hub group, which seeks to prohibit them from embarking on a planned demonstration within the vicinity of the Jubilee House from Thursday. We would like to state that the police do not take delight in preventing any group from demonstrating, as the service has a track record of providing security for demonstrators in the past. Exception in this case is the police disagreement with the organizers for the venue, the Jubilee House, being a security zone. Especially when you take a look at the first points that I read, that the arrest was as a result of the flagrant disregard for court processes served on the organizers of the Democracy Hub group. I mean, legally speaking, could the police really do this? Is it in their place to do that?
Not at all. Their excuse is bogus, completely bogus. In fact, not only the first part that you refer to, the entire explanation they've given is bogus, completely bogus. Because, you see, I am even against the provisions in the Public Order Act. I am even against, in fact, it is enough to just notify the police that we are going on demonstration, period. The police should not advise on anything as to, we tell the police where we are going to be, provide security. That should have been the case. But
I think there's a ruling on that. There's a ruling on that, is there not?
Well,
there's a ruling on that particular one with regard to the role that the police has to play.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
The Supreme Court decided that these provisions of the Public Order Act were in conflict with Article 21D of the Constitution.
Yes.
Owing to the fact that any such restriction on the right of freedom of assembly would make it meaningless and a sham.
Yeah.
So sections 7 and 8 of the NRCD were held to be inconsistent with the letter and the spirit of the provision of Article 21 of the Constitution, were therefore unconstitutional, void, unenforceable.
Yes.
So now it is the case that just notify the police 5 clear days before.
Yes.
And then the police, have to give you protection. They don't have to give you permission.
Yes. And so they still. No, it's a
so
permission.
just notify them.
It's a permission. Right? It's a permission.
So the police cannot say that we won't give you permission to.
If the police is changing the rules,
police can't stop you.
Yeah.
So the police can only stop you when they go to court to secure an injunction and the court grants the injunction.
I think Yes. You see, it's a permission in disguise, because when you go to the police, they begin to change the route. They begin to tell you that you can't go here, you can't go here, you can't go here.
That's what they always do.
Yes, and if you say no, I'll go, then they go to court. And then when they go to court, invariably they get the order. They get the injunction. Anytime they go to court, they always get it. Or they truncate. In fact, the purpose of the demonstration is lost when they begin to postpone it, change the dates and all of that. Because look, even the minority, a whole minority in parliament wanted to even organize demonstration to occupy Bank of Ghana. Until now, they wanted to do this on the 5th of September. And the whole of September is going, they cannot do it. And now they are putting it in October. The police is always running to court. Now, the reason why I say the explanation is bogus is that if even indeed, and we issued a statement, lawyers in search of democracy issued a statement, we are saying that even if the injunction was granted.
Well, it's not been granted.
Yes, that's why I said
even if it
were granted, you see, the police cannot go and stop the demonstrators and say that because there's injunction against what you want to do, and you still want to do it, so we are coming to round all of you up and take it to you have to go back to court and then file contempt proceedings against them. That is what has to be done. When there's as we speak now, I believe there's at least one injunction application against the EC from the on the limited registration they are doing. And they have ignored it, and they are continuing the process. There's an application for contempt also against them. They have ignored that as well, and they are going ahead with impunity. You see, so clearly the police cannot say that the mere fact that we have filed a process and we have served you, and even that one, we are having conflicting accounts as to whether they were indeed served, their lawyers were served, whoever. But that is not even the point. Even if they were served, the application was not granted. And even if the application were granted, the police cannot go in because nobody has sent them. The court has not sent them that we have granted application, that people are doing it, going. They have to go back to court and tell court that, look, the order you have made, they have disregarded the order and they are continuing with what they wanted to do. And then the court will know what to do with the people. So you don't go and then round them up, put them in your police vehicles and start beating them up. And Ken talked about several demonstrations, and then my friend also, they talked about the police, their modus, almost
modus operandi.
Yes, almost every time this does happen. Yes, it does happen to some extent. But we also know that there was a similar demonstration when President Mahama was at the Flagstaff House. There was Occupy Flagstaff House. They occupied the front of the Flagstaff House. Nobody arrested anybody. It happened. You see, and then when we know that, and so if these things were happening, you see, because the Public Order Act, and the reason why I think that the Public Order Act is bad is that, of course, you know, it was passed in 1994.
Yeah.
That we had just come out of a military dictatorship. Jerry Rawlings was the first president in 1992 in this Fourth Republic. Perhaps, well, yeah, maybe they were taking cue from what we had just come out of. So, but this is Nana Akufo-Addo, who started as an icon of human rights and all of that, and everybody, and he, like I said, he himself led a number of demonstrations, and everybody thought that, wow, if this man comes, he said all the right things. So these things should not be repeated under him at all. And I'm saying that if the police is doing these things, they are doing it to please the government in power. We have never heard government operatives or functionaries ever castigated the police, condemned the police for this until
but
this
in this
particular
case,
one yesterday.
we've seen the communications
Yesterday, that's what I'm saying, it's a backlash.
Damn it, we've seen other elements within. Even just yesterday when this was unfolding, there was an MPP panelist on the same program, and I think I played back the clip of what he said, who was, vehemently against the action that the police was taking.
MPP members are different from members of government. You know, MPP, some MPP.
Well, they are all MPP, are they?
Well, no,
but they are not in government.
No,
I get the point.
Yes,
I get the point.
Government.
I get the point.
Yes,
but they are not in government. I get the point.
So because I'm saying that if the people,
MPP.
Yes, because I'm saying that if the police. The police are doing this.
I think council's attempts at politicization of this matter.
Yes, we are doing politics. We are in politics. There's politics in it. You cannot say that we should not politicize it. I am saying that I have said clearly that.
Let him finish.
Look, I have the floor. You see, when these things are happening and they want to push us, don't politicize it. Don't politicize. And meanwhile, we can see politics in it plainly. And they say, don't politicize it. Don't politicize it. I am saying that the police. Look, under Nana Akufo-Addo, even the minority in parliament, minority could not even hold a demonstration. And this has happened too many times. And you are saying, and I'm saying this is look, if I were him, and with what we believed about him, you see, clearly I would have called the police immediately. I assume power and tell them that there are certain things that cannot be done under my administration. So you tell them clearly, look, demonstration, if people want to demonstrate, you have to allow them. Because before I came to power, I have seen all these things happen. I led several demonstrations, and you people went against me and all of that. I don't want to see that under my administration. That is the kind of, that was the confidence people had in him. That was the hope people, because he said all the right things. So when he comes and then we are seeing the same thing, and then you say, don't politicize it, don't politicize it. Why shouldn't you politicize it? And I am saying that these things are done because it is in favor of government. Somehow it's government they are protecting. You see, because demonstration, like you are saying, the demonstrators want to make a point. And the point is against the government power. In fact, this one in particular, they are even calling the Jubilee House, Jolobe House. Like there are thieves there or they are stealing there or whatever. If my guy is correct, if that's what it is. Yes. So clearly, it's derogatory to government. The police thinks that, we have to do something for government to say that, no, we are not allowing people to just use this kind of abusive words against government and all of that. That is so they are doing this to please government. And I'm saying that this has backfired. If Dan Parry, and he is the boss of the police, And already we also know this issue about the police, the fight among the top hierarchy of the police and the plot to remove Dampare and all of that. So perhaps if this is the reason why he even wants to please the people more, well, it's backfiring, because now leading activists of MPP are now even issuing statements, writing tweets to condemn him. And so perhaps his removal is on the way coming, maybe. We don't know.
Derek, let me come back to you on these matters. Of course, you've been listening to what Uncle Ken and Eric have been saying. And the action that the police have taken, I mean, the argument has been that, well, I mean, you've not secured an injunction. You've only filed an application for injunction. And the protesters they're not even stepped, so it's like you were ready for them. And then they came in and then you arrest them illegally. We understand 49 of them, according to the police. We understand some of them have been released. And today they are, trying to embark on the demonstration again. With this precedent, would you say that they should go ahead and exercise their constitutional rights? And it's interesting because this comes up because the demonstrators say that the EC, for example, has set a precedent, right? That if there is an application for injunction, it doesn't mean that you have been injuncted. So, well, the injunction has not been granted. So you can still go ahead and do what you want to do. And the EC has done that. In the case of the EC, there was even a contempt application that was filed and I believe was granted, by a court in Ho, or so. And the EC are still going on with their limited registration exercise, clear defiance of, all of these processes. So why is that these people want to demonstrate and you want to stop them? So, I mean, with all that has been said here, would you say that today, and it looks like momentum was building, from yesterday, today they should go and show that you cannot stop us from exercising our democratic rights, and we'll say what we want to say and do what we want to do?
If I'm to advise the people engaged in that demonstration, I would not encourage them to go back today, because the police clearly had demonstrated bad faith throughout the process till yesterday. Because after that engagement with the police throughout the process, setting a date and then starting the process, and then the night before, we don't know where that injunction application is coming from. Now the lawyers of the group is saying that they have even not been served, and the police has also not shown as proof of service. So that injunction or that application in itself is in contest. So now the police is only go ahead. They are only doing that because they want to stop the process at all costs. So because they are now going to apply force to deal with them, and they're now looking at what happened.
Maybe a positive defiance of that.
If you see, when you go into this process now, you can lose your life. And we have records of that people have engaged in a demonstration, they have been shot. Do you get it? So your life is supreme than any other interest that you want to pursue. So you think that there are issues that needs to be addressed, so therefore we must go on demonstration to even the Jubilee House. However, you should not do that at the expense of your life, because these guys coming in have guns, they have ammunition, they have whatever it takes for them to do anything that they want to do. So my point is that let's go back to court. If they are saying that they have injunction application and it has been served us, let's go to court. They have team of lawyers. They should go and contest the application. And whether, yesterday I was here, someone was saying that they have S-party application which has been granted. Others are also saying that. But my point is that, you see, the police over the years have demonstrated that thing, and it's even bad to the extent that we have a high court decision on that S-party GHToday. That the court was very clear on that you do not even go by that process in the first place, because the law states that application must be on notice to the other party. So for you to even come on that S-party application to stop them, it's even enough bad faith for you to know that the guy or whoever is responsible to protect me doesn't mean well for me. So I don't see why you should risk your life at this point, when now, if you look at, we saw whatever they are doing, how they are prepared, how they have manned up some spaces within Accra. So if you show up today, are you going to challenge them? You can't. They have whatever it takes to do whatever. And you see, when they do that, I'm yet to see any report from some of these scaffolds that says that, okay, at the end of it, the police had this investigation or inquiry into the process and somebody has been sanctioned. I'm yet to read any report of such. So my point is that don't go, allow your lawyers to go to court, contest the action. They will succeed, I'm sure. So when they succeed, now you notify them again that now your application is shut down. We have the right to go on that demonstration, and the law is clear that notify them. So when you notify them with your date, time, and venue, and whatever you want to do, and the time is due, you can go ahead. Because if they still want to contest you, that application must also be determined by High Court or above. So I don't see why today they should risk their life to go there. But that's fine. If they want to take that chances,
you think it will be at the risk of their lives?
That's my humble view.
Because you feel the police have this
you should be talking to the police and tell them not to do that instead of assuming that they will do that and think it's right.
Harassing demonstrators. So the demonstrator shouldn't risk that. That's your opinion.
My point is, you see, don't risk your life in the first place.
Yeah.
Now the police that is responsible, that's why I've stated that they have clearly shown over the years that for them, when you see, I don't know whether as part of their training they are being taught that nobody should challenge their decision. How they want to interpret any law, they should be allowed to do that. And when you try to give contrary view, then they come with force. My point is that let's go to court. Today is Friday. Court is sitting. So whichever court that they have that application from, which date is it set for hearing? Let your lawyers go. Let's have the matter determined so that it will be clear for all of us. Because you see, we have series of decisions from High Court to even Supreme Court on Public Order Act. Do you get it? On how the police have decided to handle demonstrators and some of these issues with the arrangement, dates, time, and all this time, and then going by ex parte all the time to stop them. My point is that they should be ordered. Whoever is responsible should know that if you are a law enforcing agency, you must first demonstrate that you are ready to comply with the same law that you are enforcing. You are ready to comply with the same rules that you want people to abide by. So if the police over the years, they are doing all these things, then I don't think that the demonstrators should at this time go, and let's have that matter settled. As Senior clearly stated, we should go. And if they are not interested in taking that decision, they can be ordered, because you see, it is a state institution. So they are not above anybody in this country.
Okay. All right. Yes, Council, let me come to you very briefly before I come back.
Yes. I don't think that this is what we should be doing. We should be advising demonstrators that because the police will brutalize you, don't go. Then the police should have their way. I don't think that's what we should be saying. We should rather be talking to the police, telling the police that it is not right. Stop what you are doing. You see, because when you keep doing this, the whole country can get angry with you. You can get angry with you. All of us can get angry with you and come after you as well. You see, can you kill all of us? They can kill all of us. They may kill some. They may brutalize some. Yes, of course. Some people would want for the team, you know. Some people would take the bite for us.
Some people will die for the team.
Yes, it always happens.
They will die for the team.
Well, if they kill me, I will not. The point is
Are
that.
you going there this morning?
No, that's not the point. Let's not focus on me. The point is that when you were doing your demonstration, you said that you were leading and you were shielding. You were ready for anything. Were you not?
When I go on demonstration.
Yes.
When I go on demonstration. Yes. I lead from the front.
Yes.
And any sacrifice I expect a participant to make, I'm prepared to make that sacrifice.
Yes. And there are people also, organizers also, who are ready, just like you.
So if I'm advocating,
yes,
that people should go and die.
Nobody is saying
you can personalize it to me because I'm ready to die.
Yes. But I'm sure when you were in those demonstrations.
Yes, I took on the Supreme Court.
I'm sure when you were in those.
Paid the price.
It
is without doubt.
Mr. Kranji,
that's why I'm saying, Council, that if you want people to go and make that sacrifice.
Look, listen, you are getting me completely wrong. When you led those demonstrations, you were ready for anything, were you not?
Yes.
But so there are people organizing these demonstrations. Let me land. Look, there are organizers of these demonstrations. I'm not one of them. You understand? And when you were an organizer for demonstration and you led the demonstration, you were ready for anything. And I'm saying that the organizers of any demonstration, if this is a demonstration I was organizing, I will be ready for anything also. I am saying that instead of saying that, people should be intimidated and then, because the police will beat you up, they will kill somebody, say don't go. it means that they are going to have their way eventually. That's what we are saying. And I'm saying it shouldn't be so. All of us should be talking rather to the police. Tell the police that you cannot harm anybody. But you see, if you are, what my friend tried to do was to presume that the police will act like that anyway. We can't do anything about it. That is what they have been doing all along. And so let's leave them. So instead of trying to go there and get hurt, let's not go because the police, let's tell the police that what they are doing is wrong. Let's tell them in a very strong voice, in unison. That's what we should be doing. We are not doing that. So if you talk both ways, oh yeah, the police, they also have to understand. But don't go, because if you go the way I see the police, they will brutalize you. From what happened yesterday and the backlash the police is having, I think that they have learned some lessons too. I strongly believe that if the people are going today, the police will not round them up again and take them away. I strongly believe that. Because they did it yesterday. If they are taking these people to court, I don't even know on what charge. They are taking them to court. They haven't broken any
They said
law.
they are going to take some of them to court today. So
They
it'll be
haven't
interesting
broken,
to see
they are
what
talking about
charges.
unlawful assembly.
Yeah.
And if you see the unlawful assembly in even our criminal code, this thing doesn't meet that at all. No element in it that is common to this. So I don't even know. So they are just brutalizing the people. And you say that, oh, let's just hold our arms. Whatever they want to do, let's be afraid because they will intimidate that they will kill us. So, yeah, well, if that is, then the police is becoming a police state. Yeah, I don't think that's what we have to promote.
I was in the studio.
Yes.
My point is that
Uncle Ken, I'll come to you. I'll come to you right now.
my point is that you see, the application is to be heard on 26.
Yes.
Do you get it? So if the application is to be heard on 26, what prevents the demonstrators to hold on today? Let's determine it next week. And after the determination, the police cannot come back and tell us that, oh, although you got judgment, the law is clear on you notifying us with the date and time and all these things that you want to do, and still we will not allow you. Okay. That's where we see that, okay, then the police is not perpetrating that illegality, and nobody will support. That's not the point that, oh, since they will kill you, don't go. My point is that protect your life in the first place. So that because if you are a law-abiding citizen, you want the police to also comply. So now, in your view, they are in defiance of the law. So let's go to court and get that thing resolved.
Okay.
So that now the law is clear, then you can go ahead.
All right. Uncle Ken, let me come to you now, finally, on this matter.
I was in I forget whether it was a television studio or a radio studio, but I was in the studio. And I was in the studio with Kwesi Pratt, the Honorable Kwesi Pratt. And this matter of people going to take pictures of Hotel Kufuor, at that time, I think at that time you might have been very young.
Hotel Di Wawa.
And that matter
I remember
came
clearly.
Yes. And Kwesi Pratt said he was going to take a picture.
I think it was at Peace FM. I think you were at Peace FM.
And then I was in the studio.
Yes.
I said, yes, I'm joining you. Alhaji Baturi, Kofi Wayo.
Yes.
And we went to take that picture. It was not without risk. And that fight was not our fight. You understand? So from this studio, we can decide that we are going to the demonstration, even though we are not part of the organizers of the demonstration.
But we want to be a part
I'm
of
saying that I don't want, because I don't agree with their motives. I'm saying that if somebody says that for the sake of human lives, the risk at stake, let us be cautious in doing certain things. That suggestion should not be thrown out of hand. Unless we are prepared to put, like, just take one shot, put our boots on the ground and take part of the risk. Because it's a risk. Whenever I organize a demonstration, I've said it here this morning.
You take the risk.
I take the risk and I ensure that I'm leading human lives, and I must bring every single one of them back home, back to their families.
How are you going to ensure that?
But I
did it.
But I even think,
I did, because you see,
If they start shooting into the crowd, how are you going to bring everybody back
and
to
then I'll
life?
take the bullet. I'll take the bullet.
So advise these demonstrators also to do the same.
Please, I will take the bullet. That is why I said I would ensure.
but I think even with what you were referring to earlier, I think, was it Kennedy Japan who was in the studio at that time and said, if you are man enough, go there and then you see what will happen to you. Yeah, I remember that.
Yes,
and Kwesi Pratt
then
said he would go.
And I was with Kwesi Pratt.
And he went.
And we went.
Yes.
We took the risk and dead Kennedy Japan.
Yes.
So when we sit in the studio and we call on people to make sacrifices, it should be sacrifices that we are prepared to also make. if you are not prepared to make that sacrifice, then if somebody is suggesting that let us save lives, listen to the
context,
please.
the way you are putting it.
But he's not an organizer.
Yes,
That's what I'm saying.
When people are having discussion, then you push it to them. Or will you go?
So are you saying he should go there? So are you saying he should go there today?
Yeah, you shouldn't.
I'm saying you should go there. Once he's prepared to let people sacrifice their lives, he should lead.
No. You see, you make everything personal, so we can share our views.
But this is a discussion that we are having.
You let demonstration in similar manner, and you don't want that.
But let me go on.
But round up. Yeah.
It's not like I can't go there.
But round up for me.
You can't go there.
Why can't I go there?
You can't go there. You're afraid of this.
He hasn't said he's afraid. You see, but let's put it in this context. We are having a discussion on these issues.
You don't know me very well.
This morning, yes.
I'm sure this is the first time
we are having a discussion. Hold on, gentlemen. We're having a discussion on these issues. Hold on, gentlemen. Uncle, we're having a discussion on these issues, and we're expressing our opinions, on these issues. I don't think any of us are part of the organizers of the demonstration. I think everybody should be free to be able to express their opinion, on these matters in the manner in which they want to. I think that is fair.
Okay.
I think that is fair.
You said why you think it's a fair position. Let me also come with a fair position.
Yes.
I think that when you agree in principle that somebody's rights is being stamped on, you have every right and every duty to go to every length, like the person whose right is being stamped on, to demonstrate the point. When I went to the Supreme Court, I had nothing to do with the Supreme Court. I had no point of division with the Supreme Court. I went to the Supreme Court because I was opposed to what was being done to Samia Uku. You understand me? Mm-hmm. So that I decided I would take a stand. And I took a stand. And the Supreme Court said, if you have taken a stand, then come. And I was prepared to make the sacrifice. The point I'm trying to make is that somebody is saying that because of the risk involved, let us advise caution. I think that person ought to be listened to as well. If you then say that let us throw caution to the window, then you must also come at the personal level to throw caution.
No.
Let me finish.
You see, because you are talking directly to me. You see, this one.
I will be. Let me.
Yeah, we are all talking generally, but if you are
also be prepared to. Because you see, the police can take defensive positions. I can suggest that people also still go back with the demonstration.
All right. So okay, very well.
People also go back with the demonstration because you see the police.
So please be wrapping up on this point for the because of time. We have
Jubilee House should be protected.
Yes.
They are allowed to man up and take defensive position. But this police service should grow up into a modern democratic institution
that
respects democracy. So if somebody on the other side is also amassing up to do demonstration, allow.
Very well. Thank you very much. Let me at this point in time remind you once again about what Orchard Decor is doing for you. Orchard Decor is 20 years, 20 good years in Ghana, and Orchard Decor, based on their 20th anniversary, is telling you that there is a 50% discount on thousands of items. That's half price on selected furniture, home accessories, decor items, kitchen appliances, and what have you. So visit their stores in Asokwa, at Kumasi, or the Spintex Road in Accra. And of course, they've got a brand new branch at the Accra Mall as well. Items are flying off the shelf, so make sure